Rightio. As promised, sealed, signed and delivered. Rightio, I won't lie, I feel a bit sick. Jesus, about to let a massive weight off my shoulders. Oh, here we go. Have you braced yourselves? Right, let's just get straight to the point. People seem to think that simply because I am not a criminal anymore, that automatically means that I'm a give up, I'm a snitch, I'm a rat, I'm a dog, I'm no good. I tell the police things, or the list goes on of how you can phrase it or word it, but I'm here today to clear that slate, and I want to outline a few things to you. And basically, once I've outlined it to you, it's my opinion that if you go, oh, what a dog, I go woof woof, okay? That's how it's going to go. So you can make your own minds up. Right. I won't lie, I feel sick. It's going to be a massive weight off my shoulders. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. To answer that question, have I ever, in my criminal years, done any of those things? Depends how you define the terminology. In other words, you can use one word to try and define a sentence. You wrote a statement, you give evidence in court, you took the police to where it was, snitch, dog, rat, cunt, mutt, all these sorts of things don't really cut it when you're trying to be specific. Now, I'll be specific for you. Have I ever written a statement for police? Yep, one. And trust me, in good time, you'll fucking know about it. Outside of that, have I ever actively helped the police convict someone else, help the police put someone else in jail, take their freedom from them, or just tell them anything? This is going to be so hard to say. Fucking hell. No, you fucking spastics. But here is where I want to break something down for you, because this is where I want to give you the opportunity to make your own minds up so you can define the terminology yourselves. I'm going to give you a few examples of times throughout my life where I have used what I'll refer to as effortless depth to be able to think through situations and scenarios so intricately and quickly that I already know every possible outcome before the people that are talking about it even understand what they're going to think about next. Do you get me? So, when you have that sort of ability to think very quickly, think outside the box, and think of things that other people can't think of at speeds they're never going to be able to think, let alone think of things like that, does that mean, here's an example. So, 11-year-old me, obviously vulnerable, defenceless, can't fight, very small, locked in the detention centre. If I'm in there and it's made aware to me very quickly that I have no say, no power, no free will, I do what I'm told, and anything that happens to me, I just have to fucking accept it, or go and be a snitch, be a dog, be a rat, go and dob on someone. So, effortless depth of situational awareness. For those that are simpletons, that basically means that you're able to weigh up a situation in every possibility, every possible hypothesis of how that can turn out, whether it's you crossing the road, walking a red light. Most people go, oh, you could get a fine, you could get hit by a car. Yeah, a lot of things could happen. You could cause an accident, you could be killed, you could get a fine, you may just cross the road and someone may jump on the brakes. There's 100 things that could happen. Anyway, when you have that kind of effortless depth in thinking, you'd be retarded not to use it. So here's a great example. 11-year-old me in the boys' home, I chose to let myself suffer and be put through fucking bullshit and let the older people do things to me that, in hindsight, I think back and I think, well, why did you let your ego, your pride, and all these other broken individuals around you convince you that you had to just, that if this is what you want to be, a criminal, you got to accept whatever comes with it, no matter how severe, how life-changing, it doesn't matter. Okay. I may have been 11, but my father raised me with a little bit of intellect. I may not have been smart enough at the time to use it for myself, my own safety and my own well-being. But as I explained at the start, I'm going to give you some examples. I lost count, I won't lie, and it makes me feel bad, but not really. At the end of the day, basically after being in Ashley's and having my own head split open and rushed to hospital within 10 hours of being let out of a confined cell, I quickly realised that, you had to be a quick thinker and you had to make things so. After that, I obviously went back, didn't tell anyone, like the staff, what happened, how I got the fucking 5 stitches in my temple. Anyway, from that day forward though, I made it a logical reason in my head, logical reasoning, like telling myself, everyone here, all 80 adults and kids, detainees, all have the same views, beliefs and fucked heads. Like they literally bash each other, sexually assault, do all this shit, and then the next day they're friends. It's madness. So after I established myself by not dobbing on the person that fucking knocked me out and cracked my head open to the point I had to be rushed to hospital, I was obviously given a bit more freedom, a bit more free will, so to say, which gave me the opportunity to see in depth what was really going on in the detention centre, because when you're 11 years old you obviously don't get to see all the shit that the older people control. Better cut to it, because I'm getting rambling on, but anyway. Effortless depth in situational awareness. So I can give an example of where young people have come into the detention centre, and I'm not 11 now, mind you, I'm probably 13, 14, and because of things that have happened in there and because of the way they viewed me, I've had envelopes slipped under my door telling me that my best friends in the same facility, same building, the things that they're doing to this young person, he's told the staff they won't do nothing. He's told his family all they do is try and ring the centre to say my son's saying this, saying that, and they basically say, look, we're doing all we can. Now, this specific example only happened once, but it created more logic for me to keep doing it. A kid had never seen me. I was locked down for doing the wrong thing, but he'd heard me talking to the 2 boys that were punishing this poor kid. He was 12 years old, we're 13, 14, we're growing up, like he was us when we come there. And long story short, he slid an envelope under my door after being there for just 5 days, basically saying exactly that. He'd told the staff, they told him, hang around the counter, basically, like stay in sight of the staff. Don't go to the TV, the table tennis table, don't get a drink of water, just stand right there all day. Come on. The letter in the envelope basically said that my friends, who he was listening to me talk to on a deep level every night, were doing things to him that, he said he was going to kill himself. This is a 12-year-old kid telling another kid, who he thinks is going to help him because he's heard me talking and realises that I'm probably the smarter one out of the lot of us, and slides this thing under my door and tells me he's going to take his own life. What am I meant to do with that? Now, I know if I say to the staff, look at this, it's got both my mates' names in it, and not detailing, but basically saying what they've done already and what they're going to continue to do if something's not done about it. So, I may have been a piece of shit, I want to make that very clear. I'm not sitting here pretending like I've never done anything wrong. Even the things that I describe, that I fix by being a sly cunt and undermining all the things, the rules that I used to enforce in such a bad way that it makes me, like I said, I felt sick starting this, because I have to admit that all the things that I have bled into people through violence, through demonstration, through heartache, you name it, the whole time, beyond getting knocked out that day in Ashley's and getting stitches in my head, I made a logical reason in my head that from here on in, I have to be able to think smarter than all these cunts. I have to be able to make decisions for them without them even knowing. That was how my mind developed in that environment. So, I couldn't give my two best mates up, even though I didn't agree with what they were doing. And it wouldn't have been happening if I was out of my cell. Let's make that clear as well. Like, these sorts of things I've never tolerated. Bullies, standing over people, hurting people, taking their food. I don't give a fuck what it is. I've never tolerated it. Not even at 13, 14. Once I become me and no one could hurt me unless they realised I'd be hurting them back, I've never tolerated nothing like that. So let's make that clear as well. I couldn't fucking say anything, could I? So obviously I had to think of a way, and I did. I wrote another letter and I threw it into the office while I was out there having my 30-minute walk, 20 minutes exercise, 10-minute phone call, off my lockdown, that I'd written in my wrong hand, spelt everything so badly and incorrectly that there was no way they'd think it was me. I'm the boy in there that teaches everyone how to read and write. So, and basically outlined that the young boy had said that I'd heard him say he was going to take his own life. Long story short, they moved the boy. He was safe. Okay, that's fine. Now, we'll skip the detention centre because I spent so long there that I can give so many examples of, like, you know, where I'm undermining my friends, undermining my brothers, the people around me, because they're choosing to be unintelligent and use unnecessary violence. So anytime those two things were coupled together and I had a say in it, or even if I didn't have a say, I'd find a way to have a say, to have the last say, you know what I mean? So let's not worry about the detention. Let's just go straight to the serious examples that I can give. Everyone knows who Greenie is in our jail system, okay? Let's just put it that way. We won't put, there's fucking 10 different greens in there, but we all know the one I'm talking about. This is so weird for me to explain simply because I'd just been locked up for the second siege that I had the last time I was sentenced to prison. I'd been in there 2 weeks and I'd been cut off the medication that I take to this day for 13 days. And long story short, I lost my shit, got rubber bulleted, tear gassed, tasered and smashed, and moved to segregation, obviously. When I went to segregation, you got to bear in mind, I've only been in custody 2 weeks. When I went to segregation, Greenie and 4 others were in there. So there's now 6 of us. The super maximum segregation area is full. I'll just cut it real quick and short. Because again, I can give so many fucking examples. I'm just giving you the most severe ones that everyone that I know, who I hope cares so much that they say, oh, I can't have nothing to do with that cunt anymore. I can't believe he done that. Well, all that makes you is someone that would stand by and let other people die for no real fucking good reason. And I'm not saying there's a good reason to kill people, but I'm saying there's a fucking good reason to let people die sometimes. Absolutely. Now, when I got to segregation, as I said, people that know, Greenie is considered the most violent, dangerous inmate in our system because he unintelligently chooses to be a fucking goose, to attack staff, to throw hot water in their face when they've done nothing, to pull their arms through food hatches and try and stab them. Just, you can't imagine. And he believes that this makes him important. He must genuinely sit back at night, given he's been locked up since he was a child, literally hasn't spent a day out. He must sit back and think that he's getting all glory from God or something. Like, he must think that the staff and the inmates just go back, like anytime his name gets mentioned, they just, you know, like he's Michael Jackson or something. Like, because that's how bad and sad it is. Like, he's thrown his whole life away doing nothing but attacking people in jail, and screws especially. So, bear in mind, I'm still coming off, like, I've just thrown my own life away. I'm in jail, I've just had a ride, I'm fucking cooked. But when I got there, a couple of days after I got there, you got to bear in mind, he's been locked in segregation for 10 years, 8 years, like, no socialising with other inmates in open areas with no cuffs on and shit like that. So he goes out and has a meeting with the supervisors. And long story short, they tell him that he's been so good for so long with no staff assaults, no this, no fires, no that, that if he continues down this path, he might actually get out of segregation. Now, you'd think to someone that's been locked in a fucking cell for 8 years, they'd leave that meeting and be elated. They'd be ecstatic. I know I would have been. Anyway, he comes back to his cell and decides to tell us that not only did they make his day, but they brought his plan forward. We're all like, what? And he's like, I don't want to get out of here. I like it here. Like, locked in a cell 23 and a half hours a day. And he goes, I was going to wait till Monday because I wanted to get my canteen. So he wanted some chocolates before he had done what I'll explain. Yeah, he goes, oh, they've made my day. They've just brought me plan forward. And we're like, what? He goes, oh yeah, they just told me that if I be good, they're going to let me out of here, let me go to Huon, which is where I just smashed up and come from, super maximum. Anyway, he's like, yeah, nah, I'm actually going to hand in this shiv that I've got. Sign a good faith. And we're all laughing like, fuck off, idiot. If they've just told you you're getting out of fucking segregation, the last thing you want to do is hand a fucking shiv in, you know what I mean? Spastic. But no, he was adamant. Beep! whole division hears him press his intercom. And they answer the intercom and he's straight into it. Oh, boss, look, I'm just so happy about what happened in that meeting that I'm going to hand over, I've got something to hand over. But it's going to be like last time. I'm not going to get in trouble for handing it over. We're just all like laughing, like, fuck off, this cunt's off his head. Now they're never going to let me out. Now he's like, they say, oh yeah, you've been good, we're going to let you out. Okay, take this. Like, here's the catch. Before, I missed a bit of the story. Before he pressed that button and said anything, he asked his mate to send him a line. His mate throws him a margarine on a bit of dental floss. He puts an A4 envelope on the end of it, and old mate pulls it back across. That's when he goes on to say, oh, yep, no, I'm going to hand this shiv in. So sorry, I forgot that bit. Anyway, the screws obviously say, oh, what is it? Like, what do you got, Greenie? And he's like, oh, as long as it's like last time, if I hand something, you said if I handed something in before you searched me cell, I wouldn't get booked for it. And they're like, oh, well, it sort of depends what it is. And he's like, oh, it's what you found in here last time. And they're like, so you've got a homemade shank, you've got a shiv. And he's like, yeah, but I'm handing it in, I'm giving it up, like, so I can go to Huon. And they're like, oh, look, Nathan, we're going to have to talk. Fuck me. Anyway, who cares? Look, Greenie, we're going to have to talk to the supervisor. We'll get back to you. Give us 5 minutes. 10 minutes goes past, and before you know it, there's fucking 20 of them in the hallway, demanding him up to the food hatch, hands out backwards, cuffed, arms held out the food hatch while they under the door so he can't, do anything. They'd already said to him before they undone the hatch, sorry, I keep missing little bits. If you've got it in there, really, leave it on the bench and then come to the door. So that happens. He goes out, goes taken out of the hallway where we can't see him or hear him. They search his cell. That's good. They let him back in. Everyone goes. The fucking supervisor even come down and give him a fucking pat on the back. Not literally, but through the fucking hatch. Like, was telling him, mate, this is a great sign. Like, we're actually so happy. Like, this is improvement in the, in ways that we never imagined. He was all for it. Gloating, sucking it up. Anyway, the supervisor leaves. It wouldn't have been 60 seconds that the third door that isolates us into a corridor was locked or shut and you hear him get locked. It wouldn't have been 60 seconds. And he's demanded that the line get sent back. And as soon as he gets that line back, he's in there laughing and, whoa, yeah, baby, wow, like just going off. Anyway, he calms down and he comes back to his door and he's like, hey boys, they don't know what they're in for tomorrow morning. 7:30 sharp. It might be 7:35, he goes. Sometimes they're late. I'm sitting there on my bed listening to him. And he goes, even though they brought that meeting to me, I didn't ask to go anywhere. I was going to actually stab one of them on Monday because I've been asking for my TV back for weeks and they keep telling me that if I'm good, I'll get it back. So, basically, he had handed over a shiv and acted as if like it was a sign of good faith. And then that A4 envelope that was slid back across the hallway actually had the good one in it, the real one, the sharp one, the more dangerous one of the two that he had. And yeah, basically it was 2:30 in the afternoon and he's talking about coming out the next morning, 7:30 sharp. Most people haven't been awake fucking 90 minutes. And talking about stabbing one of these officers, all of who were between the age of 20 and 28, I'd say. Like, I'm getting out of my cell in 2 hours. Now I know, same deal. If I, as in the boys' home, if I come out of that cell and they walk back down there, even the same day, and say, oh, we're searching your cell again, the accusations are going to fly immediately, aren't they? It's not rocket science. I'm the only cunt getting let out of my cell after all this has just happened, and then they come storming back in there. Oh, you've got another shit, or whatever, you know what I mean? So again, effortless death. This is someone that I know, he's serious. He may be sounding like a fucking idiot, but he's about to seriously injure, maim, or take someone's life. Correctional officer or not. What sort of person does that? What sort of person thinks like that? Like, criminal or not, I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, you just, I don't know. But anyway, I'd build up such a relationship over the, 15 years that I've been coming in and out of there with senior management and therapeutic services and even a lot of the staff that were just, lower ranking staff. But long story short, I had someone who I trusted come to see me because I was getting out of my cell at 3 till 4. So I was getting out in 90 minutes. He wasn't getting out till the next morning. Now, I had a choice to make. Made plenty of them. And I don't mind telling this. That's the thing. It doesn't fucking bother me because you got to understand when you live that life, you got to make these decisions like that. Just like that. Like, so, sitting here with me fucking hat on. So, I come out of my cell and I simply asked to see someone I trusted and I outlined exactly what was going to happen and everything that had just taken place. And long story short, they waited till the next day, obviously, and searched all our cells, leaving him till last, giving him the opportunity to flush it, break it, damage it, get rid of it. Either way, it didn't matter what happened to it as long as it was gone. But yeah, dumb cunt, tried to hide it, they found it. But that's one example. A really good one too, because it doesn't matter. But anyway, another example. Even before when I was a criminal, since I was, what would I be? 21, 22. So when I was 22 or 23, I'm confused now, I might have been 18 or 19, it's hard to say, but anyway. In the prison, once upon a time in Disneyland, as they say, there was, how do I say this without being too controversial? There was the North versus South gang war, and long story short, the prison decided it'd be a good idea to house about 16 of us in the same division when there was only 5 Northerners and, plenty of Southerners. But anyway, long story short, a violent incident kicked off that ended up, it's funny, it's not funny, I'll take that back. But long story short, 4 of the 5 of us either got bashed, stabbed, or nearly killed in that incident by 7 or 8 or 9 others. We were outnumbered, but during that incident, the person that caused it, started it, was knocked unconscious and had about 25 to 30 puncture wounds in him where he'd been stabbed by 2 different people each time they attacked him. Now, he was left in a pool of blood 2 metres from the officer's station and door to get in their office. This all took place 2 metres from their fucking office. By the time I found the opportunity to run up to the officer's station and beg for their keys, because they weren't coming out there to save none of us. I'll tell you right now, they wouldn't even open our fucking cells and we're being chased around, stabbed, bashed, fucking, like, you got no idea. Bedlam in your bedroom, basically. Imagine being confined in a small space and having 9 cunts trying to kill you. Anyway, long story short, they wouldn't come out and help. So, with no real care, because as I said, this has been going on for years. Like, heaps of cunts have always said to me, oh, that was fucking, not calling you a dog cane, but that was dog what you done, mate. Fucking, you can't do that sort of shit. Fucking, that's what the screws do. Think I give a fuck? At the end of the day, he was my mate at the time. Like, this will be so many great examples in one video. Bloody hell. Anyway, he was my mate at the time, so of course I was going to fucking do anything it took to try and save him. He was unconscious in a pool of blood on the fucking floor. I ran up and begged for the keys. They were panicked. They just handed me a full set. So, like, straight under the security grade. Oh, quick, here you go. Like, wouldn't undo ourselves to save us, but because, like, he was there dying, I think they just felt like, we've got to do something. They put the keys out. I quickly ran over to the laundry, stuck the first, second, third key under the door, thank God, because, like, you can imagine, I don't have much time. But, long story short, I ran back, grabbed him by both legs, fucking shot-putted him essentially, straight into the laundry, locked it. And unfortunately, by the time I was running back to give the keys back to the screws, a couple of the boys from the south had come in and literally seen the keys in my hand, and I'm literally just like forcing them under the fucking security grate back to the officers. And like, you got to understand, they've just, like, I don't even care saying it. Like, the reality is they could have all been charged with 4 counts of attempted murder based off what happened there that day. So the fact that I had them keys, and there was every possibility that if I didn't get them keys back under that grate, that they would end up with them. They went on to light fires in the yard, fucking smash all the windows. You got no idea. Like, this didn't just end because I locked him in the fucking laundry. I was chased, like, a couple of them come in and seen me putting the keys back under the officer's station. And that was it. They didn't attack me, but they turned straight back round to the 6, 7 outside and said, "Can you just fucking..." And they've all come charging in, chasing me around the fucking... Not only me, but like everyone else was already in safe areas. Chasing me up and down. I'm jumping off landings, I'm climbing landings, I'm fucking... You got no idea. You got some of the craziest cunts in the jail at this time, chasing my fucking 19-year-old ass around trying to kill me. But anyway, that day, for years, I copped shit for that. But yet, when you really think about it, it was the right thing to do. Whether he went and then went to protect... This is someone, the cunt that we're talking about, that got stabbed all these times and nearly died. He had been the biggest standover, the biggest fucking, like, absolute piece of shit. Not one person, apart from people that were equally as tough as him, would have ever come through our prison system and said, oh, he was a good bloke. They would have all had stories of, oh, he assaulted me. Plain and simple, at the bare minimum. So, it's very funny that, you know, I get called a dog for saving someone like that, who at the time was one of the worst standovers, gang leader, in the jail. I don't know how many beatings he's actually really took before that one, but fucking hell, that one changed his life. He's straight into protection, straight in the witness stand, fucking you name it, mate. He just never come back to jail after that. It was like life-changing. But my point is, sometimes when you have the ability to think for other people, not just yourself, you are then given a responsibility. You place that onus on your own back. Onus means responsibility. You place that onus on your own back. The moment you have the ability to think for other people's safety, well-being, prosperity, future, safety being the fucking key point here. When you have the ability to think for other people and ensure their safety and prevent bad things happening for unethical, illogical, unreasonable reasons, especially violence, what does that make you if you sit back and, like, you let people, like, as I've said it, I'm not going to sit here and fucking pretend that I haven't hurt people. I'm not, alright? But I'm doing everything I can to try and make up for the things that I've done. I'm doing everything I can to try and educate anyone that will take the time to listen to the things I'm saying here, because I won't lie, I've felt sick this whole time saying this shit, and I've left so many things out, other examples, because I was like telling myself I was going to use them, and then I'm like, I'm not ready. You got to understand, just those three things that I just sat there and explained, they go against every fabric, every fucking rule, everything that I stood on. When I say stood on, I mean, so to sit here now, nearly 6 years after walking away from that life, I understand that so many people that are still close to me and still respect me, whether they're close to me or not, they're going to hear this and they're not going to fucking believe it. They're just going to be like, this was are you joking? This cunt was undermining everything that he forced down our fucking throats and into our fucking minds growing up all through jail. Because you got to understand, I wanted to be not what I become, but yeah, I wanted to be a bad person, I won't lie. And it just got to a point where I realised that I wasn't a bad person, but I was already there. Like, there was no just making my mind up. So I had to do the best I could in every situation that was presented to me. Whether I was thinking for myself or thinking for everyone, it doesn't matter. I would always do the right thing, you know what I mean? When it really mattered. I just want to clarify one thing before I finish, because I know so many people, whether it's current or ex-police officers, current or ex-correctional staff, individuals that have come across me in my life. Yeah, Bella.